What's up everybody, it's me Zombie. Today I'm continuing work on my Genji cosplay from Overwatch. Specifically, I'm making a gender-bent version of the young Genji skin. I love how this design looks and I can't wait until this cosplay's done. Since the last video, I went ahead and put some airbrush details onto my constructed armor pieces. I just went in with some black airbrush paint and went into all the little creases where I think some shadows would look nice or where I believe the dirt would settle over time. Once my airbrushing was all done, I continued on to some detailing. One of my favorite things to do detail-wise is dry brushing some silver spray paint onto my armor pieces. I just use a chip brush, wet it a little bit with some silver spray paint, wipe some of it off so it's not dripping wet, and then I rub it over my armor surface. This creates a really cool scratched metal look. I really focus on the corners where I believe that there would be some wear and tear and some extra shiny metal would be showing through. And I'm going to do this with all of Genji's pieces. The trick is to find that happy medium where your brush has enough paint on it, but doesn't have too much paint on it at the same time. This definitely takes some practice, and I suggest testing this out on a test piece before trying it out on your final work. Once you're able to do this just right, it's gonna look like dirt and paint is scraped off of your armor piece and some shiny metal is revealed underneath. I'm not using a lot of paint here, but if you want a really dramatic weathering job, all you have to do is fill your brush with a little bit more paint. This is how my pieces look after I've gone over them with the chip brush and some silver spray paint. This is pretty subtle for one of my paint jobs, but I think I really like how it looks. Next up, I'm taking my weathering to the next level by busting out a silver Sharpie. I like going over some of the edges and adding a little bit of scratches here and there with a silver Sharpie. The silver fluid matches the silver spray paint really well and really helps my little corners and scrapes pop. Using a brand new silver Sharpie is the best for this technique because your nib isn't going to be dull and that fluid is going to last you for your entire project. Since using a silver Sharpie is more precise than, say, a chip brush, you can definitely go over all those little edges and that fluid's gonna shine so bright it's gonna look like metal. I like going over the corners, fanning out some little scratches from the corners, and just anywhere where I think wear and tear would happen. Adding some random little scratches here and there adds interest as well. And now to construct the last piece of armor, which is this neat belt piece that young Genji has. I'm using my same EVA beveled foam pieces that I made in the last video. I'll go ahead and link that right down below if you're interested to see how I made them. As for this raised 2mm foam EVA piece that you see in the middle, I made a pattern for it by folding a piece of paper in half and drawing half of my pattern. I cut it out with an X-Acto blade to make a symmetrical pattern. Then I just transferred that onto 2mm foam and super glued it straight to my belt piece. After gluing all the details onto this, it's time for a coat of Plasti Dip. While waiting for that to dry, I'm going to edit my gi a little bit more. Last time you'll recall that this gi was huge and I needed to edit it down to make it more feminine and form-fitting. Using my sewing machines, I'm taking in the seams even more. Genji has some cool ninja guy socks / tights. They go all the way up to his knee on his gi. To make that easier for myself so I don't have to worry about adjusting socks all day, I'm sewing them straight to the knee parts of my gi. When I put these pants on, they're gonna fit like a legging, and I'll even have my little ninja toes at the end too. Now that some of my armor pieces are dry, it's time to add on some more details. Genji has this cool rope detail that kind of is strewn in and out of his armor. I wanted to replicate that by using the same material as I did for making his scarf. To make these, I cut out a long rectangular piece of orange fabric, sewed it on both sides, flipped it inside out, and then stuffed it full. Once cutting out my desired length of pieces, I used some thread and twisted it around this tube to make it look like it was braided. I thought about making 2 tubes and twisting them together, but in hindsight, you wouldn't really be able to tell that much of a difference after everything was airbrushed anyway. So using this thread and twisting it around really made it look like the right kind of material. You're not going to be able to tell the difference whether I used 2 long tubes and twisted them together or not. This just cut my time in half for making these, and it made my life a lot easier. I strung the rope in between the holes for the armor that I made, and then hot glued them to the back. I'll be cutting all of the excess glue and material on the inside out later for a comfortable fit. And of course, after that's done, I am repeating the process for every piece of armor. Dang you Overwatch costumes and all of your details.
And ta-da! That's what the rope looks like when it's all strung through the armor. Since I'm done sewing for now, I went ahead and put my gi on a dress form just to see how does it look now that I'm done editing it. I'm liking how it looks so far. It looks so much more form-fitting and feminine than it did before. That, and I think that the symbol on the back looks even cooler than it did before I edited it.
Now all this gi needs is a little bit of detail work and some airbrush weathering. Progress on my pauldron piece is moving right along. You can see I put the base colors of paint right down on that armor, and I'm starting to add the symbol in the middle. With the paint I'm using, that's gonna need more than one coat for sure. After this is all done painted, all it needs is the same treatment as the rest of the armor as far as airbrushing and weathering goes. And of course, a last silly little piece that I made is just this long strap that I'm going to be using to attach my headpiece with. There will be a piece of Velcro on the inside of the front plate, so the strap can come on and off with ease. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video. Go ahead and tell me what you guys are working on right down in the comments. I would love to know. Also, if you want to show me what you're working on, please tweet them at me or send them to me on Facebook. I love seeing the projects you guys are working on. It really makes my day. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.